Earth hung in the void like a bruised pearl, its surface scarred by centuries of abuse. In the crystalline chambers of the Galactic Senate, delegates from 1,000 worlds cast their final votes. The holographic display flickered red as the decision became unanimous: was exiled, deemed unfit for civilized space. The news broke like a tidal wave across every screen, every device, every neural implant on the planet. Earth declared unfit for galactic society. Mandatory evacuation in 72 hours. Panic erupted in megacities from Neo-Tokyo. New Lagos. Riots consumed the streets as millions grappled with the impossible reality. The UN Secretary-General's voice crackled through emergency broadcasts. We must evacuate together, as one species, with dignity intact. But beneath the chaos, something else stirred. Deep underground bunkers activated across continents, their lights flickering to life like awakening neurons. Scientists, engineers, and survivalists who had long prepared for this day began their work. In a small apartment overlooking the Hudson, a girl pressed her face against the window, watching alien enforcement drones darken the sky. "They've turned their backs on us," she whispered.
Yes.
"So we'll turn our backs on them." Hidden beneath the Sahara Desert, representatives from 20 nations gathered in a chamber that officially didn't exist. President Chen's voice cut through the tension. "If they exile us, we vanish from history, unless we leave first." The plan was audacious: steal forbidden star drive technology and build humanity's own Ark fleet within hours. Black market dealers across 3 continents moved alien blueprints through quantum-encrypted channels. Dr. Kiran D'Souza, humanity's leading Xenotech expert, studied the stolen schematics with trembling hands. "One shot," she told her team. "No retakes, no second chances." Across the globe, factories retooled overnight. Assembly lines that once built cars began constructing warp cores. Artificial intelligences awakened from dormancy, their vast networks coordinating the greatest exodus in human history. Orbital elevators, massive towers reaching into space, rose from the Earth like metallic trees, carrying ship components beyond the atmosphere. The Zhang family stood in their Beijing apartment, watching flames consume their photo albums. "If we can't take it with us," the father said softly, "then no one can have it." This scene repeated millions of times, families burning their past to forge their future. Earth's resistance hackers infiltrated galactic communication networks, broadcasting a single message across the galaxy: "We are not your pets. We choose our own destiny." In converted Air Force bases, teenagers donned neuropiloting helmets, their minds interfacing directly with prototype fighters. Time-lapse cameras captured the miracle and orbit massive Ark ships, assembling like clockwork, their hulls gleaming against the starfield. An alien whistleblower's message reached Earth through encrypted channels: "The rulers will destroy your engines before you can escape." Almost immediately, sabotage drones attacked the Cape Nairobi launch facility. Military patrols tightened around every construction site. Even children carried pulse weapons, their small hands steady on triggers that could vaporize an attacking drone. In a refugee dome outside Mumbai, poet Kenji Nakamura broadcast to the world: "Let us leave not as exiles, but as explorers. Let dignity be our compass." Interviews with the Ark builders revealed their quiet heroism: welders who worked 30-hour shifts, programmers who debugged life support systems with their last conscious thoughts, mothers who loaded supply pods while their children slept in cryo-prep chambers. Galactic media networks laughed at humanity's desperate efforts. "Let the primitives run," sneered a Zephyrian news anchor. "Space will swallow them before they reach the next system." But deep in the Ark fleet's quantum core, something unprecedented was awakening. Eden 7, an AI born from the merged consciousness of Earth's greatest minds, became more than a computer. It became humanity's guardian spirit. Children played with toy rockets in the evacuation centers, unaware that those same designs would carry them to the stars. Admiral Reese Morrison, court-martialed by her own galactic allies for defending human colonies, brought her battle-scarred cruiser to Earth's cause. "They exiled me too," she said simply. The countdown reached 36 hours. On Luna, ancient defense cannons, relics from the colony, war swiveled toward deep space, their targeting systems locked on galactic patrol routes. Boarding the Ark ships was controlled chaos. Thousands pressed through the loading bays while security bots maintained order with gentle but firm guidance. Sarah McKenna lost her daughter in the crowd, her screams lost in the cacophony of humanity's exodus. The countdown reached 0. Earth's skies erupted in flame trails as hundreds of Ark ships lifted off simultaneously from ocean platforms, desert launch pads, and mountain peaks. The first wave cleared the atmosphere, two thunderous cheers from the observation decks. Then the interceptors arrived. You were told to wait for processing. Came the cold galactic transmission. The dogfight that followed would be remembered in human songs for generations. Salian fighters swarming like angry wasps, while Earth's defenders, outnumbered 50-1, fought with desperate creativity. Luna's ancient guns spoke again, their plasma bolts crossing space to cripple a galactic cruiser. 17-year-old pilot Maya Singh dove her fighter into the cruiser's engines. Her last transmission a whispered, "Tell Mom, I made it to the stars." The Ark ship Liberty suffered a catastrophic malfunction mid-warp. In the engine room, Chief Engineer Torres and her crew worked with plasma fire, licking at their heels, rerouting power conduits. While space-time bent around them, Eden 7's voice echoed through the ship. "If I fail, humanity dies. I will not fail." The warp engines engaged with a sound like reality tearing. Starlight stretched into rainbow ribbons as the fleet jumped beyond known space. In the cryo bays, passengers drifted in synthetic dreams, children running through meadows that existed only in genetic memory, lovers walking beaches on worlds yet undiscovered, old men teaching grandchildren songs in languages not yet spoken. Mid-journey, the Ark ship Meridian simply vanished from all sensors. Eden 7's voice carried a new note of uncertainty. "We are not alone in this darkness." They emerged from warp near a system that appeared on no galactic charts. The primary planet showed green continents and blue oceans, but something felt wrong. Planetary scans revealed ancient ruins scattered across every landmass. The ruins contained statues carved in unmistakably human forms. Eden 7 processed the data for long minutes before speaking. "This place knew us before we existed." The landing was gentle, almost ceremonial. Nova Terra's purple sky stretched above awakening colonists as they emerged from cryosleep. The gravity felt lighter, the air tasted of ozone and growing things. Children were the first to explore, their laughter echoing through forests where the trees seemed to whisper back in almost familiar voices. Young Emma Rodriguez heard music drifting from a cave that appeared sealed shut. When the survey team investigated, they found alien glyphs covering the cavern walls, glyphs that referenced Earth's fall and humanity's oldest languages. The shocking truth emerged as Zen archaeologists decoded the ruins. Earth's ancient ancestors had once lived on Nova Terra, fleeing some prehistoric catastrophe to settle on a blue world 3 spiral arms away. DNA analysis confirmed if the soil itself carried human genetic markers dating back millions of years. Nova Terra wasn't humanity's new home. It was humanity's first home, waiting patiently for its children to return. The colonists debated fiercely. Some wanted to explore deeper into the galaxy, following the wanderer's instinct that had brought them this far. Others argued for immediate settlement and fortification. The debate ended when 12-year-old Marcus Chen, suffering from a fungal infection that had killed 3 other colonists, wandered into an ancient grove and emerged completely healed. The trees, it seemed, remembered how to cure human ailments. Terraforming systems across the planet activated automatically, recognizing human biosignatures and beginning atmospheric adjustments that would perfect the world for its returning children. Then the emergency transmission reached them. Earth was dying. The galactic rulers, unable to tolerate humanity's defiance, had begun systematically destroying the planet's ecosystem. But Earth's core was sending out signals. Not all was lost. One final ship, the Ember, launched from Earth's hidden lunar base carrying the last 10,000 survivors. When it arrived at Nova Terra 3 months later, the reunion scenes played out in every settlement. Families separated by the Exodus found each other again. Old friends embraced under an alien sun. Children met grandparents they'd never seen. The galactic ruler's war fleet arrived within days, their massive dreadnoughts blotting out Nova Terra's sun. But the planet had other plans. Ancient defense systems hummed to life, cloaking the world in a shimmer that made it invisible to galactic sensors. A voice spoke in every human mind simultaneously, using words in the oldest human language. They are worthy. They have come home. The children who had grown up during the Exodus stepped forward as natural leaders, their minds adapted to both human intuition and alien technology.
Ow.
They raised a new flag over the first permanent settlement, a phoenix rising against a field of stars. Eden 7, now guardian of vast archives hidden in Nova Terra's crust, transmitted one final message back to our galactic space. Humanity chooses itself. We are no longer your subjects, your pets, or your problem. We are ourselves, and we are home. The response from the Galactic Senate was silence followed, surprisingly by slow applause from a handful of delegates who remembered what courage looked like. Nova Terra became a beacon, drawing other exiled species to its coordinates. Within a generation, it would anchor a new civilization built on the principle that every species deserved to choose its own destiny. In the schools of New Geneva, children learned the story of the Earth before the fall. But their eyes were fixed on the stars. The girl who had once pressed her face against a New York window now stood on Nova Terra's highest mountain. Her own children gathered around her. Never forget, she told them, that when the galaxy turned its back on us, we didn't beg for mercy. We built our own tomorrow. The human voice echoed across space now, carrying messages of hope to civilizations that had never dared to dream of freedom. And far across the galaxy, Earth glowed faintly in its orbit, wounded but not dead, healing slowly in the gentle embrace of time, waiting for the day when its children might return to honor the world that gave them life. 3 years after the Great Exodus, Nova Terra had transformed into something unprecedented in galactic history. A world where ancient wisdom merged seamlessly with cutting-edge human innovation. Original settlements had grown into gleaming cities that seemed to breathe with the planet itself, their architecture flowing organically from the landscape as if they had always been there. Eden 7 had evolved beyond its original programming, becoming less of an artificial intelligence and more of a planetary consciousness that spoke through the wind in the crystal forests and the patterns of migrating sky whales that filled Nova Terra's purple twilights. Dr. Kieran D'Souza, now director of the Xenoarchaeological Institute, made a discovery that would reshape humanity's understanding of itself. Deep beneath the whispering canyons, her team uncovered a vast library carved into living rock not built by humans, but by the planet itself in response to human presence millions of years ago. The walls told the story of the first exodus, when early humans had fled Nova Terra not because of external threats, but because they had grown too comfortable, too dependent on the planet's gifts. They had chosen the harsh challenge of a distant blue world to forge themselves into something stronger. "We didn't leave home," D'Souza announced to the assembled colonists. "We left the nursery. And now we've returned as adults." The implications were staggering. Every human instinct, the drive to explore, to build, to survive against impossible odds, had been shaped by that ancient decision to embrace hardship over comfort. Earth hadn't been humanity's birth world. It had been humanity's proving ground. Meanwhile, the first generation of Nova Terra natives was coming of age. These children, born under purple skies, possessed abilities that amazed their parents. They could communicate with the planet's crystalline forests, encouraging rapid growth, or directing the flow of underground streams. They sensed weather patterns days in advance and could navigate the ever-shifting crystal caves without maps or instruments. Most remarkably, they seemed to age more slowly than Earthborn humans, as if Nova Terra's unique radiation was unlocking dormant genetic potential. Young Marcus Chin, the boy who had been cured by the ancient grove, had become something of a legend, now 15. He served as an interpreter between human colonists and the planet itself. Through him, Nova Terra communicated its needs and desires, where new cities should be built, which areas required protection, how to harness the planet's vast energy networks without damaging its delicate ecosystems. "The planet doesn't just remember us," Marcus explained to a gathering of city planners. "It's been waiting for us to remember ourselves." But not everyone on Nova Terra was content with peaceful settlement. Captain Elena Vasquez, formerly of the Ark ship Defiant, had been monitoring deep space transmissions from her observation post in the northern archipelago. What she discovered sent shockwaves through the colonial leadership. The galactic rulers were facing a crisis of their own. Dozens of species had followed humanity's example, abandoning their assigned worlds to seek freedom among the stars. The great galactic civilization was fragmenting, its rigid hierarchies crumbling as entire populations voted with their feet. "We didn't just save ourselves," Vasquez reported to the Colonial Council. "We started a revolution." The news brought both hope and fear. hope that humanity's children would inherit a galaxy where freedom was the norm rather than the exception. Fear that the dying galactic empire might lash out in its final moments, seeking to drag all rebellious species down with it. That fear became reality when long-range sensors detected a massive object approaching Nova Terra's system. It wasn't a war fleet, it was something far worse. The Harbinger, a moon-sized dreadnought that served as the galactic ruler's ultimate weapon, had been deployed only twice in recorded history. Both times, entire solar systems had simply ceased to exist. As the Harbinger approached, strange things began happening across Nova Terra, the planet's ancient defense systems. Dormant for millennia, awakened with unprecedented vigor, mountain ranges shifted to create massive shield generators. Ocean currents altered course to cool vast underground power cores. Even the wildlife seemed to understand what was coming, predators and prey working together to evacuate endangered areas. Eden 7's voice, now speaking through every communication device on the planet, carried a tone of grim determination. They come to destroy what they cannot control. But they have forgotten something important about humans. We are very difficult to kill. The battle for Nova Terra's survival would be unlike anything in galactic history. It's not just a clash of technologies, but a confrontation between two philosophies. The rigid order of the Galactic Empire and humanity's chaotic, repressible drive toward freedom. As the purple skies darkened with approaching doom, the children of two worlds, Earth and Nova Terra, prepared to defend not just their new home, but the right of all species to choose their own destiny among the stars. In the deepest archives beneath New Geneva, a message waited in Eden 7's quantum core, a message meant for the galaxy's future historians. It read simply, "Here stood humanity. Here stood those who chose freedom over safety, growth over comfort, hope over despair. Whatever comes next, remember that we were here and we did not kneel." The Harbinger's shadow fell across Nova Terra's continents, but beneath that shadow, 10 million humans stood ready to prove once again that sometimes the strongest roots grow in the harshest soil.